Hello, and welcome to today's video. In this episode, we're exploring the heartbreaking story of Etan Patz, a 6-year-old boy who went missing on his way to school in 1979. This case became a watershed moment for how missing children's cases are handled in the United States, influencing both public awareness and law enforcement procedures for decades to come. This video contains information about a missing child case and the subsequent investigation. Viewer discretion is advised if you are sensitive to discussions of child endangerment or missing person cases. All individuals mentioned are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Etan Patz was born on October 9, 1972. He lived with his parents, Stanley and Julie Patz, in the SoHo neighborhood of Lower Manhattan in New York City. Stanley Patz was a professional photographer, and Julie Patz worked part-time. Their family of 5, including Etan and his siblings, was described as tight-knit and loving. In 1979, SoHo was still in a transition from an industrial area to a creative hub. Streets were a mix of warehouses, lofts, and a growing number of residential families. Parents often felt that the neighborhood was safe enough for children to walk short distances on their own, especially in the daytime. Friends and family described Etan as bright, curious, and independent for his age. He was known to be adventurous yet respectful, a child who loved exploring the world around him. May 25, 1979. It was a Friday morning before the Memorial Day weekend. Etan was excited because it was the first time his parents had allowed him to walk alone to the bus stop for school. The distance to the bus stop was only a couple of blocks from his family's loft, and Etan had walked partway with his mother in previous days to learn the route. That morning, he left his home around 8 a.m., wearing a pilot cap, blue jacket, and sneaker sittums that would later be referenced in missing person posters. A neighbor reportedly saw Etan heading toward the bus stop on Prince Street and West Broadway. After that, he vanished. He never made it onto the school bus, and when he did not arrive at school, no immediate alarm was raised due to communication norms at the time. It wasn't until Etan failed to come home in the afternoon that his family realized something was terribly wrong. Upon discovering Etan was missing, his frantic parents contacted the New York City Police Department. Local residents, police officers, and volunteers quickly organized searches, putting up posters and checking nearby buildings, alleys, and basements. Despite the swift response, no trace of Etan was found in the hours following his disappearance. The NYPD launched an intense investigation, utilizing multiple units to canvass the neighborhood. They interviewed residents, business owners, and anyone who might have seen Etan that morning. Photographs of Etan provided by his photographer father were widely circulated. This marked one of the first times a missing child's photo was distributed on a large scale nationwide. Etan's disappearance quickly attracted national media coverage, highlighting the vulnerability of children in urban environments. His photo was among the first to appear on milk cartons, part of a then-new campaign to feature missing children in places where families would see them every day. Over the years, law enforcement followed various leads and theories. One early focus was on individuals in the neighborhood who might have had contact with Etan. Despite numerous interviews, polygraphs, and search warrants, the case remained unsolved for decades. Etan's case led to a significant shift in how missing children's cases were handled. His parents' relentless advocacy spurred a nationwide conversation on child safety. May 25, the day Etan went missing, eventually became recognized as National Missing Children's Day by a proclamation from President Ronald Reagan in 1983. The NYPD, along with the FBI and other agencies, continued to reassess the case over the years. Multiple searches were conducted in and around the SoHo area, including rechecking basements and storage spaces. Despite these efforts, concrete evidence remained elusive. In 2012, authorities received leads suggesting that a local handyman's basement might contain clues. After conducting an extensive search, no definitive evidence of Etan's remains or personal items was found. This renewed media attention brought the case back into the public eye, sparking more tips and leads. Eventually, a man named Pedro Hernandez came forward with a confession claiming responsibility for Etan's disappearance. Hernandez, who had worked at a neighborhood bodega, allegedly stated he lured Etan into the store's basement. However, there was no direct physical evidence linking Hernandez to the crime, which made the legal proceedings challenging. Hernandez went to trial twice due to a hung jury in the first trial in 2015. In the second trial, he was found guilty in 2017 of Etan's kidnapping and murder. The conviction was largely based on his confession and corroborating testimonies regarding Hernandez's mental health and behavior. Etan's body was never found, but the court's verdict offered a measure of legal closure. Etan's disappearance became a defining moment in child safety awareness. Families nationwide began teaching stranger danger concepts and taking steps to ensure kids were better supervised. Organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children gained traction, and hotlines for reporting missing children were better publicized. Parents and schools tightened protocols regarding children's absences and transportation to school. Law enforcement agencies developed more sophisticated tools, like Amber Alerts, to respond quickly in the wake of a child's disappearance. Even after the conviction, many continue to reflect on Etan's case as a cautionary tale. The Patz family, while maintaining privacy, has continued to advocate for missing children and child safety whenever possible. Etan Patz's story reminds us of how one child's disappearance can change an entire nation's perspective on safety and vigilance. His case, though legally concluded, still evokes deep emotion among those who remember the days of frantic searching and unanswered questions. If you see a missing child's notice, consider sharing it or contacting authorities if you have any relevant information. Stay aware of child safety measures in your community and support organizations that help locate missing children. Honoring Etan's memory means continuing to advocate for children's well-being and ensuring that no missing child's case is overlooked. Thank you for watching and learning about the disappearance of Etan Patz. If you found this video informative and wish to see more content about missing persons, cold cases, and unsolved mysteries, please like, share, and subscribe to help raise awareness and keep these cases in the public eye.